Hello, hope you guys are doing well. Today I'm going to give you guys two projects that you can do, and they both involve magazines or books if you have little project books that you can use. But the first project that we're going to talk about is weaving. So we're going to talk about how we can weave two images together to become a new piece of art, and it can be a statement piece of art or it can just be something fun that you want to do. So with this image here, I used a picture from nature. So there's a mountain there, and then there's water, and then there's deer. So you guys can kind of see that image. But then you also see another image weaving in there, and that's from a advertisement for a credit card. So it's kind of talking about duality between nature and consumerism, and then there's also this dynamic between the colors as well. So there's the blue of the nature and the orange of the advertisement. So there's different things that you guys can explore and talk about and discuss with this project, which is something that I really like about it. Or it can just be something like, oh, I liked these two colors and I thought that they would be cool together. It can be something like that as well. So I like to pick up little books from thrift stores. This one's about wildlife, and I use those for images and things like that to use in my work or just to play around with. So you can do that, and then you just cut a piece of paper out of there. Now to cut a paper, I open up my scissors like this, and then I just slide the edge right in that corner there, and then that paper will just pop out. If you have younger hands, you might need an adult to do that because that blade is pretty sharp. But yeah, you just slide it down there, and then that page will pop out, and then you can use it. And you can also use magazines, or you can use both. So once you get your paper selected, then you're going to cut into strips. So you need to decide how thick or how thin you want your strips. If this is your first time doing a weave, then you might want to do thicker strips. So something about 1 inch or even 1.5 inches if you want. But if you've done it before and you're comfortable with doing it, then you can do a smaller strip like this. So these are about 1/3 of an inch in length if you want to do that. But you can, to make sure your strips are lined up, you'll want to just do little marks on the back, not on the front of where you're weaving, but you'll take your ruler and you'll just make a mark on one end. So I'm going to make this one 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch on down the ruler. And then once you get one side done, so I'm just doing a little tick mark. Once you get one side done, then come down to the other side and do the same. Now your pages are going to alternate. So if you do one paper with the strips going horizontal, then the other strip or the other page that you do, your strips need to go vertical. So this one's going horizontal. So the next one would need to go vertical. So that way they can be woven in and out. If you are using square paper, then it doesn't matter. But with the rectangular, it's very important. So once I get that done, here's my book. Then you're going to put your paper, so if you have a mat, you can use a mat, or I've been using this book, but you want something that has just a little bit of give to it, and you don't want to cut on the table. Don't ruin your parents' table. But you'll line your ruler up on either side of those tick marks. So there's tick marks on this side and tick marks on this side. So I'm going to line the ruler up to where I've got those tick marks across. And then you're going to take your open scissors again. So if you're younger, you're going to need your parents to help you out with this. and you're just gonna lightly create a strip. You don't want to cut your piece off. You want it all to stay connected still, but you're just scoring it. If you cut it off, then you're going to have a bunch of strips all over the place, and you're not going to remember which order they were in. So I'm just going to do a couple here. So all of my paper is still connected, but when it's in the light, you can see those score marks. So this side doesn't have any, but this side you can see those score marks. So I've done these 2 pages already. I did one horizontal, so these are horizontally cut, and then these ones are vertically cut. All right, so you can see how they bend. So the reason I do that is so now I can kind of bend that first strip there, and then it comes off only when I need it to. So that way I can maintain which order the strips were in. So I'm just gonna take one off of that one and then one strip from the vertical section, doing the same thing, just folding it and then gently tearing it off. So doing that score is really, really helpful. It just kind of helps keep everything organized. So then I'm gonna have my glue stick, and then on this first one, you just decide whether you're gonna start which one you're gonna start above and which one you're gonna start below. So I just put a little bit of glue stick right there because I know it's only gonna touch this part, and I'm just gonna glue that. I'm gonna line those corners up there so that it's nice and straight. And then just pinch those there until they stay and stop moving around. So with each step on this weaving process, it's going to set you up for the next one. There's a couple of ways that you guys can do this. It all depends on your process and how you think and how you work. You can start in the corner, and then you can do all of your vertical strips all at once, and you can alternate them going up, down on that first horizontal strip. And then you just weave your horizontal strips through all of those vertical strips if you want to work that way. So that one I glued the vertical strip on top of the horizontal. So this one I'm going to glue under. So getting this started is where you're really going to focus on that over, under, and getting that established. So again, I'm lining it up. I'm lining it up with the strip that I just put down, and then I'm lining it up on top here. So I'm just going to do a couple of these vertical, and then I'll start weaving in some horizontal. So this one is going to go on top. So I'm going to glue the back and then line it up. So the only glue on my weave is right up here, is like just all around the edges. That's the only spot that's glued. All of these papers in here are not glued together. So it almost looks like we're gonna need a lot of glue, but really we just need it on those edges. Do one more strip of the vertical. This one's going to go underneath that horizontal, so I'm going to glue it on top. and line it up. Okay. So now that I have a couple of strips that way, we're going to talk about weaving it in and out. So now I'm going to go back to my horizontal strips, and I'm going to just tear those off one by one. And we'll just do a couple of these. So you're just going to look at your past weaves. So this one is going to be placed on top. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue just on the edge where it's going to line up with this, because I don't want to glue it down to all of my other pieces. But I'm just going to line it up between the edge and then that first horizontal piece. And then from there, I'm just going to weave it in and out. So then I'm going to take that strip, go behind, and then bring it in front, and then go behind. And you want to keep your weaves really tight. So this is going to be a lot easier if you're doing it with bigger strips. You'll be able to start it, and it'll go a lot faster too. The more strips you have, the longer it's going to take. So this one's going to go under, and we'll just do it one more time just to show you. I think it's very interesting how with the little squares, just a glimpse of each image, what that can create for your work. All right, so that's lined up underneath there. So all I need to do is tuck it back here and then just making sure all of those pieces end up lining up. All right, so then you just keep doing that all the way through. If you want to just do a couple horizontal and then switch back to vertical, but you just need to make sure that you just keep weaving those in and out until you get it all done. So that's a really fun project. So that's magazine weaving. And like I said, with that one, you can discuss many different things and look into many different things, whether it's color contrasting, image contrasting, all sorts of things like that. So that's a really fun one. Another really fun and really, really easy, really simple, this one's really fast, is taking a box that you have. It can be a big box, a little box, and then you just create your own product with using magazine clippings that you find. So this is going to end up being, I don't know, pelican puffs or something like that. I just went with an ocean kind of coastal theme for this one. We'll see what it turns into, but I just kind of liked all the colors and everything that was coming. So you can always come up with your own little product, and that's a great way to explore advertising, kind of using images to sell a product and what kind of color selection you use and things like that. So these are both really great, fun projects to talk about all sorts of different constructural things. So like always, share what you guys create, tag the Quincy Art Center at Quincy Art Center. And if you like these projects, you can share these with your friends, and that's a really great way of staying connected in these times when we all feel a little bit separated. So I hope you guys have a really great day creating, have a really fun time, and I really look forward to seeing what you guys make. Thank you.